Alright, guys, so this is gonna be the intro to my journey. I'm gonna be documenting every trade before, during, after. Just basically document my journey to see where I'm messing up, uh, what I can improve on, and this is mainly a journal for me. But if you guys want to take anything away from it, apply it to your strategy or the way you go about looking at the charts. Maybe you get inspired and you want to document your own journey, by all means. Um, but yeah, so basically, how it's gonna work is I'm just gonna pretty much choose my top pairs for the week, and I'm basically just going to break them down and explain why I'm interested. If I come across a pair that I'm not interested in, I'll explain why I'm not interested in it, and we'll just see how they play out throughout the week. If I enter a trade, I'll explain why I entered, what gave me my entry confirmation, etc. So yeah, without further ado, let's look at gold. Um, Gold right now on the daily time frame, we are bullish. Have my higher low, my higher high. On the 4 hour, we are bearish. So what I'm waiting for right now is I want to see price. Uh, I don't even know why this is here. I want to see price. Basically, if you can notice, we have what looks like an inverted left head, potential right shoulder. Um, but I personally, I wouldn't be interested unless price gives me a break of the previous lower high with the retest, and then I'll consider taking the trade up to my daily higher high. Um, so yeah, until I don't get that break, I won't necessarily be interested just because I want to have two time frames in sync. Um, if you notice, price never broke above this high, so and price is respecting support, so that is showing me that there is a sign of buyers that don't want to let price get driven down. Um, so yeah, so basically daily's bullish. I want to wait for the 4 hour to be bullish. Also, I see a lot of daily rejections, so that's also a good sign. See this daily doji right here. We have a few bearish pin bars, but for the most part, since I am not interested in shorting, I mean gold has been on an all-time high, so we've been uptrending for the longest. I want to wait for the 4 hour to go ahead and turn bullish. That will be confirmed by breaking my structure point right here, confirming a new higher high. I'm gonna wait for the higher low, and then I'll drop down for my entry, target the highs from the daily. So that's gold. Um, for CAD JPY right now, we're at an all-time high. So the weekly, if you notice, it looks like we're having a slowdown. Um, I have my higher low, my higher high. This is a strong level of support and resistance. If we drag this all the way, get another level right here. Um, so I would expect for the weekly to at least pull back to this area. I don't believe that the weekly is just gonna have a little baby pullback right here and then continue shooting up. I look at the last time we had a big push down. The weekly came and corrected itself pretty deep into the retracement, at least a 50%, right? So I'm expecting the same here. Also, if you notice on the weekly, what else do we have? We have a left head and a right shoulder that has been confirmed because we broke the neckline. Um, and this would be the neckline right here, which is also a strong support and resistance level. And the EMA would already be around this area by my area of interest by the time that price drives down to pull back to continue up. So this trade, more than anything, on the daily, we are bullish, but if you notice, the daily is having a slowdown, which indicates to me that maybe the 4 hour is having a head and shoulders as well. And there you go. So the 4 hour is having a head and shoulders. If you notice right here, we have a left head, right shoulder. I'm just waiting for the break, which is right here under this level. Would also break below my EMA, would be an extra confluence. So the 4 hour right now is bearish, but it's still not enough to give me a reason to sell. because anything can happen, right? Price can come over here and then just come back up. If you notice, price has not broken above these highs. So you can consider this whole section right here a consolidation. So what I'm waiting for is exactly this. Break, retest, take it to the downside. This is a degenerate trade because of the fact that it is a counter trend trade. But at the same time, even though it's a high risk trade, I do feel confident because, like I was showing you, the weekly is at an all time high. And realistically, the market will never just shoot up or shoot down. The market always has to pull back as its way of showing you that, hey, we're going to continue up or break structure to the downside, have a pullback, and show you, hey, we're going to continue down. So that's basically what I'm waiting for. I have my alarm set up around this level just to indicate to me that, hey, we're breaking structure. Um, just wait for my entry signal, and it pretty much looks something like this. So I'd take my entry above the highs, and then I would first target this level of support and resistance right here, and my second target would probably be this area down here. Um, but yeah, we'll see what happens. Gotta wait for price to show me a tan first, and then we'll go from there. So that's CAD JPY. Then we have USD CAD. USD CAD looks really good to me. I really like this trade. The only thing I don't really like about it is, I mean, we are approaching a low point where, if you notice, price kept rejecting from this point over here, creating higher lows. Um, but then again, every time we're under this level, we sell. Under this level, we sell. Under this level, we sell. And then once we're above this level, we buy, retest, buy, retest, buy. So what I'm expecting in this zone right here, right now, and as you can see, the daily is giving me a doji rejection, which is a good sign. It's showing me that price is respecting the level. It is having a slowdown. I'm just waiting pretty much for my 4 hour to shift structure. So if you notice, we have our higher low right here and our higher high. I need price to break below this level, which would also indicate that we have a left head and then a potential right shoulder once we break that level. And then I probably enter on the right shoulder, or if I want to play it safe, I'll enter once we break below this level. Really just depends on seeing where price has a reaction from. But yeah, so just that's basically what I'm waiting for. I mean, the weekly is bearish. Weekly's bearish. Daily is also bearish. So I'm just waiting for the 4 hour to turn bearish and give me my confirmation so that I can have a sell entry. And I would honestly just be targeting this zone right here. Um, so yeah, so then Euro GBP, same thing. Uh, the market is bullish right now on the weekly. However, on the daily time frame, we are bearish, and we've been having signs of rejection. This trade in particular, you see this daily wick right here, all these wicks. So we did have a pullback already on the lower time frame. Um, Essentially, I saw another strong level of support here. Then again, on the 4 hour, we had a left head, right shoulder. This would have been an entry signal. This was just me pretty much marking up my charts because that would have been a valid entry. As you can see, we shifted structure. Right here, we had our engulfing, so this could have been an entry. Stops above. Um, so right now, mainly what I'm waiting for is I just want to see price give me a pullback into this zone, um, just to give me a better entry because I can enter here, but honestly, I don't know, right? Because price can easily come back into this area and wick us out. We can get liquidity grab, whatever you want to call it, same shit. Um, I'm not really, I'm not sure about this trade. More than anything, just watching it. Um, and yeah, pretty much I'm just watching it because if you notice, look at all the wicks I came up here, wicks, wicks. Essentially, I would want to have my stops here, get my entry more around this zone, and then still target a 1 to 2. So that's why I have my alert there. Lower time frame on the 1 hour, same thing. You see right here, left head, right shoulder. Only thing is, we did technically get a pullback, so this would have been the 1 hour lower high, lower low. We did get a pullback, it just wasn't into my zone. If you notice, the EMA is also here, but notice how price respects EMA. You get a rejection, you get a rejection, you get a rejection. So that's basically what I was waiting for around this level, is a rejection as well from the EMA. Keep in mind the EMA isn't a, set in stone thing. It's just there for extra confluence, I guess you can say. Um, it just adds on to everything. So it's something I would like. It's not something I would need, but what I would want is price to actually retrace back into the zone as it has before with the candles, right? And we haven't gotten that. So I'm just on the lookout for this trade. Um, but yeah, we'll see what happens. So AUD USD, same thing. We're at a high point in the market. So we have the daily bullish, higher low, higher high. Um, on the daily, obviously there's not enough for me to say, hey, this is a strong zone. So I would drop down to the 4 hour. The 4 hour right now, we are bearish. As you can see, I want price to break below this lower low. Give me a shift to structure back above my zone, which would be this one right here. We do have resistance, resistance. You can count that as support, more resistance, and then we have a little level of support here. So I would want price to break below this level and then give me a shift of structure back to the upside, potentially going above the EMA. So the EMA would just help push price up, and I would be targeting these highs right here. So yeah, that's why I have my alert here. I'm just waiting for a shift of structure. Once I get the shift of structure and I get my entry confirmation, I'll be interested in the buys. That's AUD USD. Okay, so for AUD CAD, price is bullish. We did have a big push up. So this trade, realistically, it's already gone. Um, However, on the lower time frame, right? So on the 4 hour, we are creating a little higher high. This honestly, this is not enough for me to consider it. I guess you could say a valid push up. So what I want to see is just price come back down into this area, retest, grab the EMA, and then continue up. So yeah, that's what I'm waiting for. I'm waiting for price to give me an entry signal down around this area, so then I can then take price up to this zone, which was the previous high of the market. So until we don't have that, then I am not interested. I'm not gonna chase a trade. It would not make sense for me to place my risk reward tool here and then target this zone for a 1-to-1. Just doesn't make sense to me. I like to target at least a 1-to-2. So what I am waiting for is something like this. Stops right below the wick, and a 1-to-2, 0.37. 1-to-2 is fine. So that's what I'm waiting for, and that would be AUD CAD. GBP JPY on the daily time frame, we are bullish. This is another degenerate trade because it is a counter trend trade. The 4 hour right now, as you can see, we have been consolidating all around this zone, and you don't want to get stuck in that. So I'm waiting for price to basically give me confirmation that, hey, we're breaking below this level of support. I'll look for a retest, and then once I get my retest, then I would target close to this zone. Um, but yeah, as you can see, all this is just chop that I don't want to be involved in. So this is literally all just consolidation right here. All this is just consolidation. I don't want to be included in that. However, this is a good sign because back to the daily chart, it's showing you that we are having a slowdown. You're getting a daily doji rejection. So this is just basically telling you, hey, we're going to have a pullback to then continue up. Because if you notice, this market has been on an uptrend for a very long time. Um, and we did break above this high. So market is on an uptrend. And that's basically all I'm waiting for. Once I have that zone get respected and broken, I'll look for sells. And it would look something like this. Have my stops right here. Oop. Have my stops below the lower high. And I target this area. So that's what I'm waiting for. Other than that, still waiting on the trade. GBP CHF. So GBP CHF right now, the daily time frame is bullish. However, the weekly time frame is bearish. Only thing I don't like about this is we are at an all-time low. I don't necessarily like. Well, honestly, I don't even like targeting lows when we're at an all-time low, just because if you notice here, look at this low. Market just pushed all the way up, came back to this area. Market pushed all the way up, came back to this area. Market pushed all the way up. We're now breaking below this zone, and we're candle closing below the zone. We're getting a pullback on the weekly. The daily, we are bullish, but I'm also waiting on a change of structure. So if you notice as well, same thing here. You have a left head, potential right shoulder, but I need to see price break the neckline. Give me a little retest, and then I'll be interested in a sell. Probably hold it to this point. Um, Not get too greedy with it, because again, we are at the lowest point of the market, and I don't want to get caught in all the liquidity and all that. So probably target something like this. I don't know. Um, it all depends what the market, decides to show me. But other than that, these are my top pairs for the week for now. And then yeah, everything else is just either not lined up, or I'm just waiting on alerts. Like this pair is good too. Um, but I will still need a reaction back into this zone. So I have two alerts. The reason I have two alerts is because I was looking at a counter trend trade as well, and as you can see, the 4 hour did go bearish, and we did get our pullback respecting EMA. We did get our doji. So this trade, you could enter it. I could enter this trade, but then again, it's a high risk trade. I'd much rather wait for price to come down to this area and then just catch the buy. Um, Little left head, right shoulder on the 1 hour. But yeah, not really too interested in these trades. I'd rather just wait for it down here. I have two alerts set just because I do want to see what price is showing me. But for the most part, this is where the push started. As you can see, broke, retest, pushed. I'm just waiting for price to revisit this zone, and then we can take the buys. There's a weekly-ish, the stronger time frame, and we do have a strong level of support and resistance here, where price has respected multiple times. So I do believe the weekly will retrace down to this area before continuing up. I would target this zone. After I target this zone, I'll probably target this zone. There's a lot of imbalance here too, so we'll see what happens. I do believe we would go ahead and attack this zone right here, this high, just due to the imbalance in the market. But then again, this was a big push down, so there's a lot of orders that need to be filled up here, and yeah, we'll just see what happens. But for the most part, these are my top trades of the week, and this is my first video documenting my journey of January 2026. So yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I hope you get something out of this.